Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video, I'll be doing the unboxing and a quick hands-on review of the Vivo V20 SE. So here's the box. Now this phone is going to be priced about 20,000 rupees. I'll let you know the final price and the storage variant information in the description below. It's going to be available in two colors, Gravity Black and Aquamarine Green, and we have the black color with 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. Now the main highlights for this phone would be its sleeker form factor, its cameras, mainly its selfie camera, and faster charging speeds. Now without any further delays, let's have a quick unboxing. This is how the entire packaging looks like. Looks pretty similar to the packaging of Vivo V20. On the front we have just the name, Vivo V20 SE, and on the back side we have some of the highlights. That's mainly its 32 megapixel selfie camera, 33 watts flash charge, and a 48 megapixel rear camera. Now let's open it up. Now once we open the box, we have a cardboard packaging with probably a case. So these are the contents. First we have SIM card ejector, followed by some documentation and a free soft silicone case. Next we have the phone itself. Let me just put that aside for now. We also got some IMEI number stickers. Following that is a 33 watt flash charger. Next we got a USB Type-C charging cable, and finally earphones. So these are all the contents of the box. Now back to the phone. It's in this plastic wrapping. Let me just slide it off. And here we have it. So this is how the Gravity Black looks on the back, and this is how the phone looks on the front. Now let's have a physical overview. On the back, this phone has a 3D curved fiberglass, and underneath that we have a pretty cool gradient color. For the Gravity Black color, hue changes from silver to dark blue. At least it looks that way. At the top we have the camera module with a triple camera setup and dual LED flash. At the bottom we have the Vivo branding. On the front we have a pretty huge display with a dot notch and protected by a 2.5D curved glass. Above the display we have the earpiece along with some sensors, and below the display it's completely plain. Now for the sides, on the right side we have the power and volume buttons. They are made of plastic, they have a nice clicky feel to them, and they are sufficiently elevated. At the top we have the secondary microphone followed by the SIM card tray, housing 2 nano SIM slots along with a dedicated SD card slot. By the way, this SIM card tray also comes with this rubber gasket, so it gives you some extra water protection as well. On the left side it's completely plain, and finally at the bottom we have the audio jack followed by the primary microphone, USB Type-C charging port, and the speaker grill. Now this phone has a thickness of 7.83 mm and weighs just 171 grams. In hand it feels pretty sleek and feels pretty lightweight as well. Now let me try out the case. Now it's done. So this is how the phone looks with the case on. There is a tiny bit of raised lip for the camera module, so cameras are very well protected. Even in the front there is a tiny bit of raised lip, so even the display is very well protected. By the way, this phone also comes with a free screen guard pre-applied. Now these are the sides. We got all the cutouts, and we also got this small flap for the charging port for some extra water protection. And with the case on, buttons are still nice and clickable, but they're not that easily traceable. I wish they protruded out a bit. Overall, this case is pretty good. It can give you some extra grip, prevent smudges, but that's all. If you want better protection, get a better case. Now these are the complete specifications of this phone. On the rear, this phone has a triple camera setup with a 48 megapixel primary camera, followed by an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera with 120-degree field of view, and a 2 megapixel super macro camera. For selfies, we get a 32 megapixel camera. On the front, we get a 6.44 inch AMOLED display with Full HD Plus resolution with 90.12% screen to body ratio. As for performance, it will be running Snapdragon 665 processor with Adreno 610 GPU, 8GB of RAM, and 128GB of storage. Right out of the box, it will be running FunTouch OS 11 based on Android 10, and powering this device is a 4100 mAh battery that supports fast charging, and also comes with a 33 watt flash charger inside the box. With this charger, you can charge your phone from 0 to 62% in just 30 minutes. By the way, these are the SAR values. Now let me turn on this phone and set it up and come back to you in a second. So this is how the phone looks once we turn it on and set it up. And this is our default launcher. And here's the app drawer. These are all the applications that company installed. There isn't a lot of bloatware, but it does have few applications that you might not use. Here's the about page. This phone is running FunTouch OS 11 based on Android 10. And right out of the box, we got the September security patch, which is pretty good. Now let's go back to storage. So out of that 128 gigabytes of space, we get about 114 gigabytes of space for our user apps and user data. If you need more storage, this one also comes with a dedicated SD card slot, so we can use that as well. Now let's check out the camera interface. So this is the camera interface for the rear camera, and by default we are using the primary 48 megapixel camera, and if you want to use the wide angle camera or the macro lens, you can use it from here. Right now we are using the super wide angle camera or the wide angle camera itself. Next we have bokeh mode, that's portrait mode for the rear camera, and in this mode we can change the amount of background blur effect you want using this slider over here. Finally we have the super macro mode. Besides that, we also have a dedicated portrait mode on the left side. Now when you take a picture in this mode, you won't get a portrait shot. First you need to go to portrait mode, once again select bokeh, and then you'll be able to take a portrait shot. Next, we also have a dedicated night mode for the rear camera, and on this phone, it only works with the primary 48 megapixel camera. Now on the right side, we have the regular video recording mode, and you can record video with the primary camera or even with the wide angle lens. And finally, these are all the extra modes that we have. We have a dedicated 48 MP mode to take a 48 megapixel picture. Besides that, we have panorama, live photo. Live photo is a feature where your phone records few seconds as video every time you take a picture. Here's a quick preview. So that's the live photo feature. Besides that, we also have slow motion, time lapse, pro mode, AR stickers, and document mode. Now this is the interface for the front facing camera. Right now we are using this 32 megapixel selfie camera, and initial impressions do look pretty good. I'll show you the sample shots later. So this is the default photo mode. Next we have portrait mode, that's portrait selfies. Once again you need to click bokeh over here to actually take a portrait selfie. Next we have night mode, even for selfies, which is a pretty cool feature. And on the right side we have video recording using the front facing camera. Unlike on the Vivo V20, on this phone we can only record video at a maximum of 1080p resolution. So there's no 4K for the front camera. And finally, out of all these modes, we just have AR stickers for the front camera. Now here's a quick preview of different AR stickers that this phone has. So this is the camera interface, and now these are some sample shots. Now let's test the fingerprint scanner. I've already set it up, and here we go. Fingerprint scanner is pretty fast. Let's give it a try again. And there you go, it's pretty fast. Now let's test face unlock feature. I've already set it up, and here we go. In good lighting conditions, it is super fast. Now let's test it in low lighting conditions. And once again, even in low lighting conditions, it is pretty fast. When the brightness levels are low, it's trying to increase the display brightness and trying to use face unlock. So overall, face unlock feature works pretty well on this phone, and surprisingly it works pretty quickly even in low lighting conditions. Now let's test the speaker loudness. That's maximum volume. So that was the speaker test. It is pretty loud for regular media consumption, ringtones and alarms. Now let's try the navigation gestures on this phone. For that you need to go to settings, then select system, system navigation, and then select gesture navigations. Now once you do that, we can swipe from the bottom of the screen to go home. Swipe and hold for recent apps. These are all the recent applications. And swipe from the left side or right side to go back a step. Besides that, you can also swipe from the bottom left corner or the bottom right corner to trigger Google Assistant. And there we have it. Now let's try out the dark mode. You can access it from the notification toggles, and this is how the dark mode looks on this phone. And once you enable the dark mode, all the stock applications like phone dialer, SMS application, and even some of the stock applications like Google Play Store automatically switch to the dark mode. This phone has an AMOLED display, so using dark mode helps you save some battery as well. Now here's a quick look at the overall user interface with the dark mode turned on. And these are your recent applications. Now before I conclude, these are the benchmark scores. So guys, this is the new Vivo V20 SE. It looks pretty similar to the Vivo V20, at least from the front, and it has its trademark features like sleeker form factor and lightweight design. And initial impressions so far, cameras look pretty decent, especially its front camera is pretty good. Fingerprint scanner and face unlock are super fast, and the overall form factor of the phone is pretty good. It's light and sleek and fits pretty comfortably in the hand, and you can use it single-handedly to some extent. We are also getting an AMOLED display with this phone, so color reproduction is good, blacks are true blacks, and even the sunlight legibility is pretty good. This phone also has a Qualcomm Snapdragon processor, and finally, we are also getting a 33-watt flash charger bundled inside the box. So it's a pretty cool looking phone at a budget with great cameras and pretty fast charging speeds. So guys, what do you think about this phone? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you're planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description. It always helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.